Hey, what's going on? It's Walt with One Fall WrestleCast. Hey, we got something a little bit different this week. We're gonna hit you with a little two-parter. So today, right now, we're gonna talk about SummerSlam. Um, pretty interesting. Some things with the tractor and the ring, and some returns and some show ups and some things that were very. Hmm. We're gonna get into it.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Hey,
What's up, dude?
it's magical. It's the magical SummerSlam weekend. It's the most exciting party of the summer, but I leave for vacation tomorrow. So I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Not that you had a choice, but
Sir. Well, no, I really clearly didn't have a choice. But Derek and I are still gonna go live tomorrow, normal time, 7:30 p.m.
good stuff.
We're gonna go over what is going to happen here starting 2 minutes ago on Fight TV, and that is Ric Flair's last match. So we're gonna be fully invested in that, and we're
But
gonna
there's a
talk
whole
about
card.
that. There is a whole card, and it's gonna be a really fun card to watch. Um, but there is business afoot.
There is
Things to
business
be
afoot.
done, buddy.
There are, because we had a SummerSlam that was it didn't feel. It kind of felt like a SummerSlam at times, but like not all the time.
Full disclosure, I enjoyed the show thoroughly from front to back.
So I liked it, right? I liked it. I thought it was a good show, but like SummerSlam is like a big show, and it didn't. It just felt like a kind of regular pay per view with like a big show main event, right? That's how it felt to me.
Yeah,
Like that was it was a good show. I thought I really enjoyed the show thoroughly. I thought all of the matches were pretty. I mean, went from really good to pretty decent. I thought the layout was good. I never really got bored, although there were a lot of clips and like commercially things. That seems to be the Peacock way. We get a lot of like WWE related commercials, but still like WWE commercials.
Yeah, very much like video packages, focusing on certain talent. Like, I mean, KO had a run, Charlotte had a run, and like they're not there. You know what I'm saying? And like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very much where we're at with that right now.
Seemed like a very transitional kind of show almost.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it felt like a lot of this obviously had been written prior to the exit and had been building prior to the exit of Vince McMahon. And there were obvious things, at least especially right at the start, that were definite Triple H like, oh, he did that. Like there's no like if he could have come out and like put a signature on it, it wouldn't have been any more clear that he did it.
Well, let's just go ahead and let's get right into it, man. So Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship opens the show up.
Great match.
Fantastic match. And I mean, you're always going to have a good match between these two women, right?
Yeah.
Like they're at the tippy top right now. And while I'm still not like super, oh yeah, Bianca's the best, the fastest, the strong, like I get it. And like she is good. And Becky Lynch is always going to be Becky
the GOAT.
Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, she's at the point in her career where she doesn't have a bad match.
No.
And
yeah. And I think that this is very much one of those situations where Vince had kind of booked himself into a corner with these two again.
Sure.
And we saw that come to fruition. Now, obviously, Bianca Belair defends her title in a great match, great match. But I think the part that's going to get the most replay and the most chatter is going to be the post-match happenings. Obviously, it's no surprise. Bayley's been out of action for going on 10 months now. And
but no, it's been over a year.
Has it been over a year? Okay. Well, they told us 9 months, so
it's been like 13. It's really been a long time.
So, in a very, what I would call a very discombobulated segment.
So I think this was the first point in time where they realized that this ramp, the entrance way to the ring was really friggin' long. Like, there were people just walking, like, it was like, oh shit, where is this thing? Where's the ring? Yeah. Like, they came out and it was like, where's the damn ring? I gotta turn a corner? Like, what's going on? So, yeah.
I thought they did a really nice job with the set. Like, the SummerSlam set in general for the stadium show, but definitely need, if they're going to continue to do a couple of these big shows a year in the stadiums, need to figure out a better entrance situation moving forward. Yeah, because that was not it.
No, and it looked weird more than one time.
Yes.
But this was the
Judgment
first
Day comes to mind.
Yeah, that was Edge showing up was weird. I'm sure it looked better even on like TV than it did in the arena. But it was weird because they had to have pushed them steps out there like a long way for that. And then like Edge had to like climb in to do the gimmick where he comes up through the fire, but like I can't imagine that looking good in the arena. And like on TV, it was like clearly like he's kind of in the middle of where the ramp. That's weird.
Yeah, the whole thing was strange.
But I think that was the thing. Circle back. So the people that are back. So we got Bailey is back. Who God, I miss Bailey. We've been talking about Bailey.
Hello.
We've been talking about Bailey for a year. I've been missing Bailey for a year. The weirdness of like the ramp situation, I thought was like, okay, whatever. And then Io Sky now. She's not Io Shirai anymore. She's Io Sky because Io Shirai is her real name. But we're keeping it close. And Dakota Kai. So now they match, and they're in a they're in a faction with Bailey, which is, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's great.
I'm here for it.
I'm so happy to see Dakota Kai back. King Coda, so happy because she's like, I mean, when they let her go, I'm like, but she is so talented. How could you she's the next step up of like she's she's your Bailey, or she's your Bailey and Bianca and you're like she's next. Like that.
Yeah, she's next.
3-4 years from now, that's her. Right?
And I think that was the tone of the conversation amongst the three of us whenever she was on that name, her name was on that list of releases that round.
Yeah, we were all like, what are they doing?
Yeah, you can't seriously be considering this. And, but it's good. And I made the comment in the group chat last night that I feel like this was Triple H just flopping his dick on the table and saying, hey, here I am.
Yeah.
Because these are all three of these, these women are very much Triple H products.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Bailey has gotten over despite everything. We've talked about, her and Butch and, really embracing things and giving it a go. And, I'm really excited to see what this faction is going to bring. What I thought was interesting was this morning I had read that this faction was actually pitched to Vince like 6 months ago
and shot down.
And he shot it down, and Dakota Kai got released in the process, and then Io Shirai kind of just
fell by the wayside.
Yeah, which I feel like, and I made this comment in our group message last night also after this happened. I feel like the women's division as a whole has kind of fallen to the wayside, and
it's because we haven't gotten anybody. It's like, well, Vince is like, well, we have to bring Ronda Rousey back, and his thoughts of that to me were very much like, when I used to work at Sears, obviously Sears is not so much a thing. There was always, when this person comes back, we don't need to hire anybody because this person's going to come back from Christmas break, or this person's going to come back from school or whatever. And like, they're just going to fill back in this slot that like we're busting our asses to fill. And before Christmas, when it gets busier, yada, yada, it's going to be fine. We don't have to hire and train anybody. And that never happened. Right. It never happened. Nobody ever came back. Because it was a terrible company to work for, and you would work literally anywhere else.
I worked for Sears for a little while.
I think everybody did, and then it was like, oh man, this is a bad place to be. But anyway, maybe the Sears thing isn't entirely relevant, but it seems to be like
bankrupt now, pal.
So, well, yeah, they're gone. So
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I don't was Vince driving the car off a cliff with the women's division? Maybe he was.
And that's a possibility. I mean,
I think that's the argument I think I was trying to make is like,
no, and I'm glad we could bring it back in.
Driving the car off the cliff with the women's division, and Triple H, I think with one segment, even though it felt weird with the size of the ramp, pulled it right back.
It wasn't even a ramp; it was just floor.
Yeah, but pulled it right back into like, nope. Here's 3 people who probably will be champion again. Well, Bayley obviously has been.
She just inserted herself right at the tippy top of the fucking women's division again.
Well, of course she was when she left. When she got hurt, she was right there. She was just on a run of a year as a champ through the pandemic. She's like, no, I got this every week. She defended the belt every other week, every pay-per-view. Had a segment every show. Literally was out there ding dong hello. Either she was in a match and ding dong hello, or did a ding dong hello. And it was killing it.
Yes,
killing it at like. She was like, oh man, I don't know that I like all these other things that are going on, but let me see what Bayley does tonight.
Absolutely.
Because that 30-minute or 20-minute segment or whatever, however much time she gets, that's going to be entertainment to watch. And she's got that nailed down, and I think she's got it nailed down probably better than any of the other horsewomen, because she was batting 1,000 before she got hurt. I guess Becky's kind of batting 1,000 for the most part too.
Yeah, but post-match antics would tell us that she's gonna take a steep turn into yesteryear.
Well, I mean, I think that she may even take a little break to go back and be mom, because she came back early due to injuries and everything. She came back because they were like, "Hey, we need you to be the man," and she's like, "But I got this baby." And okay, but we'll give you some creative freedom, but we need you. And so she came back and literally has been the top, even if she didn't have a title, she was probably in the top women's feud that was happening.
For sure.
She got the most TV time. She got the most mic time. She got the most.
She's earned that spot.
I mean, she's the best. She's literally the GOAT. I was disappointed to not see Charlotte come back later in the night too. I thought for sure.
I think they're gonna sit on that one. I bet you she's a Royal Rumble return.
Wow, that's so far away though.
I'm just saying, especially now you've got Bayley just come back with 2 fresh faces. You got to let that breathe a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's not like she died. I mean, and how long's Ronda sticking around for?
I mean, I read a couple of reports today, and this is just fan bullshit, but it's like, last night we got the Ronda Rousey heel turn and we got the Becky Lynch face turn. Cue the WrestleMania 39 marketing now.
But I mean,
while I would agree with that, if Vince was still in charge of creative, Vince isn't still in charge of creative.
Yeah, I don't think it goes that route between now and then, truthfully. And I don't think that. I mean, I don't know. I would probably be into that because Ronda's been floundering since she hasn't had a Becky Lynch or a Bayley or really a Riot Squad to throw around. Because that, I think, when she first got there, she could ragdoll the Riot Squad around, Ruby particularly, and that really worked. Her work with just Liv. Liv doesn't. We were talking about it last night, and we'll get there. So maybe I won't. Let's pause. What was? I can't remember. What was match 2 of the night? Because match 1 and then coming out with Bayley and everybody was just mwah.
Yeah, it was a little. I mean, it was good, but I just kept saying, "Hey, man, what the hell's going on here? This is really confusing."
It was the end was confusing. I think the internet cut everybody slack because they were really excited to see Dakota Kai and Io Shirai. No. Hey, look, here's my top guys. Now here they are. This is what you guys wanted. Now you get it. And so I think they were like, well, that was an awkwardly long rampway to the ring. Or floor. Let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. And I'm actually really happy today, Sunday, with the internet wrestling community, as they haven't overanalyzed it and said that it sucked. I've not seen any of that. And I'm about to go out of town, so I'm not going to look at it. So if they do change their mind between now and next week or whatever, or they go back and revisit it, this was confusing and dumb. Fuck yins for that, because look, we're still getting what we want.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe that the match that followed this was Bobby Lashley versus Theory for the United States Championship.
Yeah, I think you're right. Also a good match. Went a little shorter than I thought it was going to. Bobby Lashley was very dominant.
As he should have been.
As he should have been. I do think that while Triple H didn't change this match, he certainly changed how the match was going to go, and probably gave it the time that it was given, and probably hammered out their bullet points. Is Theory, you're gonna take a pin, or you're gonna tap out to the hurt lock. Bobby, you're gonna look strong. And that's what it was. Bobby looked strong, and Theory tapped out as it should have. Bobby Lashley's been a tremendous player for the last 3 years at this point. I mean, he put up with so much stupid bullshit still got over. I mean, he put up with the most. Bobby Lashley's sisters, feats of strength with Braun Strowman. I don't know why that was a thing. Like, it was like, well, we're not actually going to fight, but you guys are going to arm wrestle. And then it was like, you guys are going to play pinocchles. And I was like, what the fuck is this? It's like, these dudes, let's let these dudes hit each other. So yeah, I'm happy to see Bobby retain. I thought that the match went exactly correct, and it felt like a big match should have felt. And then Bobby absolutely decimated him in a way that was like, that felt good and was reassuring.
Yeah.
And was nice. So that was.
I had made a comment. I was like, "Oh, Bobby Lashley's going to lose the championship," because they trotted him out with the 2x2 snap box on the belt, and I was like, "Oh man, that's no good."
It still fit around his waist. The man
it did.
Man, that wouldn't fit around my waist.
So moving on from that, we then ventured into the Miz versus Logan Paul.
This match went long, but I really like the Miz. AJ popped up for a minute. I don't know why, but AJ popped up. I can't remember why.
Well, because he's been like, I guess he's been going back and forth a little bit with Ciampa.
Right, and also Miz has tiny balls. He told the Miz he had tiny balls. That's the whole Miz has tiny balls is a thing.
I would really be happy if, like, we could just move on from the Miz's tiny balls thing. Like, it was cute for a week, and now
the t-shirt ain't even out yet.
Now Maurice is like toting around a purse that looks like fucking balls, and like it's just
sparkly balls.
It's silly.
And
it's not even like fun silly. Like, it's just silly.
I mean, did you see his trunks? His trunks said was hello, I have massive balls. Had that like on the front of the trunks.
Yeah, and he's really leaning into his A-lister shit right now. All of his gear had all of his stuff on it, like the Marine and Ms. and Mrs. And listen, good for him. I'm to the moon for the Miz and his success outside of the ring, as well as his success inside the ring. But it's like, hey man, I don't give a fuck about your balls.
No, I don't. I do think that the Miz is particularly good at these matches with celebrities. I think he's obviously his tenure is. I mean, the dude's been around for 20 years. He's, one of the safest workers, and also makes everybody look great.
And I think too, and correct me if I'm wrong in my way of thinking, but like, Miz was kind of in those shoes, right, where he was like the celebrity coming in from the outside world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he was in Road Rules and he did all that stuff, and he was certainly.
I think that gives him a place where he is a little bit more comfortable to be like, hey, so like, I know that like you feel like you're dealing with this, but let's just calm down. We're gonna do this way. And I think that he's been very much a calming presence for a lot of those guys. But let's make no fucking mistake about it. Logan Paul in 2 matches,
tremendous athlete,
big time matches, has looked pretty damn impressive.
Tremendous athlete. I mean, I can't. Truthfully, I don't like what he does outside of WWE. Like, he needs booked by WWE, not booked by himself on YouTube. Like I think he's a schmuck probably in real life and certainly on YouTube, but like in a WWE ring, like I think the dude's got some serious potential and could be, you know, if that's what he wants to do and not be a schmuck on the internet, if he wants to actually be, you know, a solid wrestler, he's got the athletic ability. He's clearly got the he's got the ability to listen and learn and perform on a big stage. Do I think that I mean, he might be. He could be. I don't know how old the dude is. I mean, he could be a future like world champion if he puts. I mean, you know, it's hard to say. Like, you know, you've had 2 pretty good matches with the Miz, who is literally a guy who just understands how to put on really good matches with literally anybody. But you know, like you said, Logan Paul doesn't look bad. I mean, he's not ready to carry a match. He's not ready to be the guy at all. But I certainly am interested in seeing where that goes because, you know, let's say he goes from internet schmuck to John Cena, you know.
I mean, and that's a possibility with the right marketing, with the WWE machine behind him.
I mean, and the right people in his ear too. I think that's important too. Like the right people telling him the right things and him listening to those people and doing the right things and taking chances when chances are there to be taken. So I guess we'll see what happens with him. But I'm in right now. If it's a thing where it's like, oh, Logan Paul's going to be on the show, I'm like, I'm not going to be upset with that. I'm like,
the only thing I didn't like about was at the end after whenever you know, they hit him with the beauty shot when he was rolling out of the ring, and he was like, "That's what a champ does." Hey, bud, calm down. It's your second match, man.
Calm down. Yeah, you're not a champ.
Like, calm down.
And you could tell they did it. They let him say it twice, so that like they could get the better clip. And like they told him, like, no, say it this way. It's like, so do this again. Like he got coached a little bit.
Yeah,
but. No, I mean, you know, that's nitpicky. And I think it's, you know, I thought it was weird too, but at the same time, it's like, you know, that's for a highlight reel somewhere at some point. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, I listen, and there was a lot of that though, because I'm gonna tell you what, commentary feels exponentially underproduced.
They sound like they don't have an old mean man yelling at them anymore. That's
like, I was into it, man.
That's what they sound like.
You know,
Michael Cole sounds like he's found a new voice. Corey Graves sounds great too. Great. I think Graves is. I've always enjoyed Graves, but I think Graves has stepped up.
I think them as a duo were fun too. And I had even made the comment after, you know, they bounced back and forth a couple of times last night. I said, man, they just need to let Graves and Michael Cole finish this show because they're clicking on all cylinders.
They did though, and then they did. But I do think that we lost again, like at WrestleMania. I think we lost out by not having Pat McAfee on commentary.
I would agree with that.
And that it like as fun as Pat's match was, Pat almost fell on his face twice. Didn't though. Like you could tell he slipped both times, and both times, like the first time, Corbin caught him and like held him up, and like they zoomed away real fast to like not show that. But like he didn't fall for that first suplex, and then was that the next match? Should we just get into
this? Can be. I mean, it's not, but we're into it, so let's just roll.
All right. So like, yeah, Pat almost fell twice, but he didn't. The first time Corbin caught him and like held him so that he didn't fall, so they could do the superplex spot. And then the second time, I want to say he like went to put his feet on or he jumped up to jump off the top rope or something, and he like slipped and like. Michael Cole sold it as like, it's humid out here. Those ropes are slick. And that was probably true. But Pat caught himself and then jumped and did the swanton or whatever they call it now, whatever they call Pat's swanton. It's not a swan. It's like
it was like the Swan Bambino ton or something.
Yeah, it's like this Swan Bino or something like that. And I was like, what? Okay, that's fine.
And Corey Graves was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, Pat told me.
Yeah, and I like that version of Michael Cole as well, where he's like, where he's really like given the he got all behind his buddy Pat and was like super biased, and he was like, and Graves is going to be biased too because he and Happy Corbin are friends, or he and Corbin. I think he's just Corbin now because Happy's a stupid name, but he and Corbin they just refer to him as Corbin now, which is fine. I mean, I thought that match was like. I was looking forward to it because as you know, I'm a big fan of Corbin, and I even said to I was watching with my wife and my son, and I even said to him, God, I love Corbin. He's such a dick. It's like
Absolutely.
What better way to like? What a dick! But he's still like he's really good in the ring, and like everything he does looks crisp. He like you could even tell like, and you could tell he's really good at what he does. And like, cause when there's a spot, he won't let anybody botch a spot if he can help it either. Like he'll catch you and he'll put you back on balance. And like he's
it's because he's a fucking pro, pal.
He's a pro. He's absolutely a pro. And we will look back on Baron Corbin as one of the guys who was probably who didn't hold enough titles, didn't hold enough championships, but was really, really important. I don't know that he's Mr. Perfect level of that, but I mean, he's in a similar vein of like a guy who's a pro, who every match he puts on, he doesn't hurt anybody. Everybody loves to work with him because he doesn't hurt them. It's always good. He delivers good promos. He's a good guy to have around. And
my favorite part of that match was. And it's like a subtle little thing, and Michael Cole sold it really well from commentary too. Whenever Pat dumped Corbin out of the ring, and Corbin went for his quick come around, and Pat did the little drop kick through the ropes, like timed it perfectly. It looked great. And it's
did.
That's from watching match after match after match after match, being in that same spot.
Yeah. And it was, I agree. I thought that was because Corbin, I like that spot that Corbin does where he gets dumped out, but he runs around the corner of the ring and comes up. I think that's a really good spot. And nobody else does that. And I thought because McAfee, like you never see anybody counter that. And McAfee did. And I don't know if because him and Tom Pestock are friends, that's Baron Corbin's real name, Tom Pestock. I don't know if because he and Tom are actually friends in real life. Because that they are. Like it's pretty obvious they are. Although on Friday, I'll say the thing on Friday Night SmackDown is Corbin was in like the front row behind commentary for all of SmackDown, and he had this sign that had Pat McAfee's mugshot on it, where Pat had like a lot of hair. Like,
yep,
it was so funny.
Allegedly.
Alleged. No. Pat got arrested.
Allegedly.
For sure he got arrested.
Allegedly.
Okay. So I mean, but that I thought was it's not really a celebrity match, but those are like gimmick like matches you only see at like SummerSlam. Or
it's an attraction.
Those are the attraction matches. And I thought it went just as well as the Logan Paul Miz match. I really enjoyed it. Top to bottom. I was excited for it. I wasn't disappointed by it. And it got Pat kicking him in the nuts for the win because Pat got kicked in the balls from behind the day before. What a callback!
Yeah,
I'm glad. That's like the one reason I'm glad I watched SmackDown was this match exactly, because otherwise SmackDown was just very ho hum. Like, guys, guess what happens tomorrow? It's like I know, but I'm watching right now. I will watch tomorrow. Don't like hype me for tomorrow and like give me a preview. I don't want that. Show me a show right now, and then I'll watch tomorrow for like the next part. And this is like the one match that really did that, and like the rest of it did not. For SmackDown. But anyway, move on. What match did we skip?
We skipped the Mysterios versus the Judgment Day.
Oh, this was weird.
What was being billed as a no disqualification tag team match.
This was what the fuck was this?
Listen, I don't know, because like they came out and they tried to work a traditional tag team match with a no disqualification stipulation.
They were tags,
and they were tagging in and out, and the referee was counting the 1, 2, 3, on the exchanges. What are we doing here? This is supposed to be a no DQ match. And then it was like all of a sudden the light bulb went off, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh shit,
we're supposed to be fucking shit up."
And then a chair comes. It was like 3 minutes left in the match, and finally, some chairs show up, some other stuff. They were kind of inconsequential. And then we get to the point where it's like, oh my god, and Rhea Rhea actually got Secret involved in the match because she was waiting until the ref's back was turned because they were going for the 619 and she grabbed both their legs. Yep. And like, it was like, oh, well, it's perfectly legal. And yeah, it was perfectly legal, but also she did it while the ref's back was turned. So it was like, what? Why did we do it this way? And then Edge shows up and just helps the Mysterios beat the shit out of everybody. I don't know where Rhea was at that point. She must have fucked off because like she's not allowed to fight with the boys. And that was that smelled like Vince. It really did. It felt like maybe Triple H didn't get that deep into the show to like redo it. That smelled like a Vince thing. I'm glad Edge is back, but that was one of the worst segments on the show, and it felt inconsequential. I mean, unless we get Edge versus Balor, Demon Balor, and we build up Demon Balor and Demon Edge, and that's a thing, and like Evil Edge, like with the fire and the shit, like, and then Demon Balor. Unless we build that up and we get that,
they're done that, seen it, fucking move on.
But we haven't, not with Edge and Finn Balor. We haven't.
Whatever.
I'm just saying it. I would be okay with it, but I can't say that I'd be like, oh my god, now this is what I want to see. Could you imagine? Like, no, because I just booked it in my head, and that's what they're gonna do.
I'll tell you what, though, pal. You want to talk about worst fucking things on the show? Let's talk about this SmackDown Women's Championship.
Okay,
Morgan and Ronda Rousey.
So this got cut short because, and I even said to you last night because we were talking about it as it was happening live, and I even said to you last night, well, at least it wasn't very long.
So my response was, you thought that was quick, pal?
Well, it got cut short because of the Logan. I mean, it was messy. Neither of them are at the level to call a match, and they clearly hadn't put enough time into the prep work of the match. And that's probably a Ronda thing. I realize that like her prep work time is probably not. She and Liv probably have not spent a whole lot of time together going over things because I know Ronda's still a new mother, and Liv, I don't know that like she's got to tend a farm. I guess I don't really know what she does, but
her and Bo Dallas have a farm together.
That's right. Yeah, but he's not working, so he can clearly tend the sheep.
He's content being farmer in the deal down there. Hi-ho the Dario, the farmer in the Bo.
Well, Bo should go and do the farming and let Liv like go move in with Ronda so that they can work on their match between baby feedings or something.
But you gotta Bo leave.
Bo has to Bo leave and his wife as the champion because
I certainly don't. Listen, I think it's a cute little experiment, and
like, it was a fun pop.
It's
but great.
I'm happy for Liv; she got her moment. But that thing was a fucking train wreck. I said that is worst match of the year. Candidate.
Oh, it's not that bad.
It's absolutely that bad. I would.
I'm
much rather watch the barbed wire everywhere match between Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho for a second, third, fourth, or fifth time than to ever have to even read a recap about that fucking women's championship match ever again.
Not me, but still. I mean, I don't want to rewatch it. I'll put it that way. But that was, I mean, it was the worst match on the card. It wasn't. There's no
it's the worst match of 2022.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was the worst match on the card. Only because like they're both better than like Anna Jay and Ty Conti, like those match. Like there's a lot of worse. You can't
put them in that primetime spot.
No, you're right. You're right.
The match that like you built. But you're right. As your big baby face deal.
You're right.
And they're both fucking greener than goose shit. Like you can't put them out there together and expect them to carry a decent women's championship match. It just doesn't work.
And I think particularly on a pay-per-view, I think
not just any pay-per-view. Like this is a tentpole. This is fucking SummerSlam.
Yeah,
this is your biggest event of quarter three. Like, and this is what you trot out there after you just gave us Dakota Kai and Io Shirai and fucking Bailey, like not even an hour beforehand, and then you trot this fucking dog shit out here.
Well, I do think in trotting that out there, it was, we all know that Triple H may have a spiteful bone in his body to where he could be okay. Yeah, you got this, and this was Vince's thing. I know that Vince kept Liv because he found her attractive. And I think that's unfair to Liv to say that, but that's why Liv's still on the card. That's why she was there. That's why she wasn't cut with the rest of the Riot Squad.
Because of the three of them, she's definitely the worst worker of the three of them.
She's the worst worker of the three, and
the thing is, she's gotten better.
She certainly has. But at the time, she was the worst worker of the three. And it was no question. It was.
Hey, she got her blue tongue back though, pal. Like, so
did get her blue tongue.
You
back,
know, big ups to Liv Morgan for getting her blue tongue back.
It's because nobody was there to stop her. But you're right. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, this was I was glad it was shorter because it was not a good match. It was not a good pay-per-view match.
Worst match of the year.
I mean, it was the worst match of SummerSlam. I'll give
Worst
it that.
Match of the year.
All right. But then, things got better.
Yeah, I mean, now we've obviously gone out of order. I'm just looking at my recap that's right here and kind of prioritizing what's important. But somewhere in the middle of all this mishmash, we got the best match of the year, and that was the Usos versus Street Profits with Jeff Jarrett as the special guest referee.
Man, I think I said to you, that couldn't have gone better. That was it just went, and it couldn't have gone. It was like, I mean, everybody hit every spot. Everything was timed perfectly. Jarrett was perfect in the match. It was perfect. It was like down to Montez's reaction at the end of the match, coming in, just looking like, what in the fuck do we have to do?
I think that's going to be the end of the Street Profits. The way that they
I mean, it's certainly the beginning of the end, I think, but God damn. I mean, it's either the beginning of the end or like they actually do win and have a reign. Certainly not a reign like the Usos, but maybe like, third time's a charm kind of a deal. They make their way back up the mountain. They give them another 6 months together, and that is that. And then when they lose the belts, maybe shortly after even, and if Dawkins takes the pin, I think maybe at that point that's the end of the Street Profits. But I don't give the Street Profits another year together. No. I think Montez is on the trajectory to become he looks like a top guy already. Like at no point, if anybody's the next top guy who's just there ready to bust out of a tag team like Shawn Michaels or whatever, it's Montez Ford. It's hands down, it's Montez Ford, and that's coming. That's coming in the next year. For minus some unforeseen circumstance, that's coming.
But I mean, at the same point in time, Dawkins has been no slouch.
No, Dawkins is great. Dawkins will be a fantastic like U.S. title holder. Like he'll be fantastic at that. Dawkins he's a mid carder. I think he will be fantastic in the mid card. Honestly, I think he could get another tag team partner and be an excellent tag team champion. Dawkins is not. Montez Ford could be the next Roman Reigns kind of guy. He could be Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Montez Ford. He could be that guy. He could be on that level. I think he's there in the next year. I think we take a little, you give him a little underdog story, I think, because he's not that guy. But I think you put him in a triple threat of some of those guys. Maybe even throw a Cena in there or something like that, and you have Montez come out on top and. I think it's believable. I think it's very believable. I think it's actually more believable than Kofi was during the height of Kofi Mania.
I mean, that's fair, but, I don't know.
Maybe not as believable as Big E. Maybe he and Big E are similar trajectory-wise, but...
So, I don't know. I'm not really sure, but I think the thing that we cannot undersell is how well Jeff Jarrett officiated that match.
I give everybody shit about, the rules and whatnot. And Jeff Jarrett, I loved how much Jeff Jarrett was like, this is the rule and this is that. When I count to 4, he pulled him off. when I count to 4, you get the fuck off of there. And it was like, man, this is what I want to see. Like, I feel like every referee should do what Jeff Jarrett did in that match. Like, they should look at that. Like, whenever they like go to put somebody in like a referee position, just like when they put somebody in like main event situations, like, watch tape. You have to watch the greats to understand how to be great. They should put referees in the situation like, see what Jeff Jarrett did? Do stuff like that. Maybe not as like don't get necessarily as involved as he did because he was a special guest referee.
Right.
So it's his job.
I was just getting ready to say that too. Like, I think that like him doing that made him being the choice to be the special guest referee mean that much more, because he wasn't backing down. He didn't put up with anybody's bullshit, and he did call it straight down the middle. No
he
issues.
Really did.
No.
Despite almost getting a super kick, catching it, flipping him around. That was actually almost. I thought the Usos were going to lose it there, but they didn't. And then he countered a clean 3 count. And to me, it just at the end of that match, emotionally, my thought was, man, what the hell they got to do? Like, I was invested. I'm like, what do they got to do to beat these guys?
Nashville crowd was on fire last
They
night.
were on fire. And that was a big football stadium of people. Some of those people had terrible seats. And those people, they screamed their lungs out. They are all hoarse as hell today. So shout out to Nashville for being just a Smashville for being just a killer crowd to watch on TV, right? Yeah. In that arena, in that like sort of,
it had a big show feel to it. Like, the crowd absolutely gave it a big show feel.
So one of the things before we get on to main event that I really like about SummerSlam is that when it goes on, it's still kind of sunny outside. Like, when it starts, it's still so that the camera has to really like play some fun angles to not get that like sunset glare. And WWE does better than anybody else could ever do it. Even better than really like a lot of like, baseball broadcasts or football broadcasts or anything. They really do a great job with it. And it really, those moments, those first few matches really make SummerSlam to me feel like SummerSlam with the sun setting, and then you can see the sun. It feels summery with everything. And I thought they really knocked that out of the park last night too, because it felt like an outdoor summer show. And it was like, you felt that in your head. One thing I don't ever want to see again or hear again is any more fucking stupid Kid Rock music, because I am so sick of that shitty song. I never want to hear another Kid Rock song. I never want to see Kid Rock again. Like, this man is he's one of the worst musicians of all time.
It's been 3 damn days, pal.
No.
Well, you're not ball with the ball?
No.
To bang, diggy, diggy?
No. The worst. Look.
You don't want to be a cowboy, baby?
No. At no point. At
Are
no
you
point
the
have I.
bull god?
No.
Are you free?
Stop. I know what you're doing. I know all of that. And no. Look, Kid Rock's a poser. And like him.
My name is Paul.
Are you done?
Listen, I'm just trying to enlighten you to the wonderful music library of Kid Rock.
I'm aware what exists.
Well, then
you want to talk about
dust off them records.
I've never purchased a single Kid Rock record. Never once. I've never owned any of them. Rebel Without a Cause, any of them. Never.
I'm back.
I've never owned a single Kid Rock record. And as a man who owns multiple Korn, like most of the Korn library and a good half of the Limp Bizkit library, I can honestly tell you I own no Kid Rock. Although Korn's fucking dope. I will fly that flag till the day I die. Korn's fucking dope. So fuck off with that. Speaking of bands that are dope. Anyway, there's some 90s angsty bullshit for your ass. Let's talk about ye old main event. Are those Luden's cough drops?
No, those are actually Hall's cough drops.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Luden's ones aren't actually. They're just candy. They're fucking delicious. Luden's cough drops may be the most delicious thing I've ever put in my mouth.
All I know is over the last couple of days, this economy pack has been life. I woke up with one stuck in my nose yesterday. I don't know how it got there, but it was there.
That's
ouch.
Because them shits are sticky. So ouch.
Yeah.
Them shits are sticky.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't fall asleep, but that's neither here.
Well, that's not your fault. That's the thing that happens.
Yeah. So moving on to the main event, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the last man standing for the last time ever.
We can only hope.
Hey, real quick before we get into this, that fucking trotting Drew McIntyre out there, like, to cut a promo with the sword. I'm gonna raise my magical sword in the air and see what happens. It's like,
was that not a dick joke? I felt like it was a dick joke at that point.
I feel like it's hey, I'm tired of carrying this fucking sword around. The old man's gone. Can we get rid of it?
You see my name tonight. That's not just because I'm going to Disney World tomorrow. That's part of that. Anyway. Yeah.
But Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, last man standing. Obviously, Austin Theory is a thing. He got a little play in the pre-match video package. Overall, man, I would say that was a fun little match.
Holy crap! That fun little match was awesome. That was so they did. How do I put this? So it's no secret that I love both Brock and Roman. I feel like that's a very like Brock is just, God, he's a murderer. I love him. Brock came out and he walked down the rampway and he was like, this rampway is really fucking big. And then he took a left and it's like, Christ, really? A left? Where are you going? And then there's a tractor, with a forklift and the shit on the, a backhoe. I'm like, what?
It's a front loader.
Front loader. Yeah, that's what they called it. Okay, so he's got a front. I'm like, why does he have a front loader? This is weird. But he drives his shit to the ring, and I'm like, he had a little bit of trouble starting it, if you noticed. But he started it, drives it to the ring, puts it in the ring, stands in said front loader, and is like, I was like, okay, that's cool. I like that. And then I said to you, I'm like, well, that's gonna play. That's gonna play a part in the finish. It actually didn't. It really didn't, other than we'll get there.
It was very distracting, though.
It was. I really thought he was gonna put that front loader down on Roman for the 10 in the ring. I thought that was gonna happen. I thought Roman was gonna get F5, and Brock was gonna be like, and put him down.
So we get Air Lesnar coming off the front loader, and just takes Lesnar, out.
I like it.
Takes out Roman Reigns, and the fricassee begins, and all hell broke loose right from the opening bell, and did not stop breaking loose until there was a winner crowned.
I loved how both of them went about this. Is they went about smashing each other with stuff, and then they were like, count. It was that back and forth for I don't know how long this match went, but for however long the match went, that was it. And at the end, particularly, we got Theory popped out. Might I add that Theory is coming out with this briefcase that looks like it's been beat over the heads of 15 different guys, because it has. This briefcase where it's a big, robust, beefed out, poofy case. It's caved in on both sides. It is and it's scuffed. It looks like it fell down 9 flights of stairs. And it's just this probably was because Brock beat him with it last night, and was holding nothing back, where he was thwack. Theory looked a little sore from Friday. It was just, it's one of those things where it's I appreciate that it's the same briefcase, because this shit is caved in, and they caved it in more, and then Roman hit him with belts, hit him with both belts in the face. Those were headshots. They looked real. They looked solid. And man, I love that they buried him in shit. That was how they got the deck out. They just like threw shit on top of like all of them, like Roman and the Usos are just burying him and shit. I really enjoyed that. I thought that I feel like that was a Triple H finish.
Yeah,
because I don't think that we're going to see a lot of Brock Lesnar moving forward.
I would agree with that. I think that last night was his final hurrah for a little while, and I mean, good for him, man. Like honestly, good for him because
they've had to go back and get him like twice in the last like week or two. So it's I think that's it, and I think the people in the back are sick of seeing him. It was great to see him off this time too, but it's been a long time. Maybe it's time. I mean, he's had a lot of time in the sun. Let's let him ride off, and he's made more money than you or I ever will together, and add a bunch of people like just by himself. Let's not forget he's married to Sable, who also made a lot of money. And let him ride off in the sun. The man's in his 40s, and he's taken a lot of punches to the face. He's had a lot of shit thrown in his face, and clearly took a beating last night. Although, did you see the pictures of him laying in the corner of the tipped up? Because he tipped up. Okay, the thing about the front loader is Brock puts it under the ring, right, and tips the ring, and Roman takes the best tumble out of the ring. Like that was perfection.
It was a very Charles Robinson-esque tumble out of the ring.
That was perfection, absolute perfection, and I really enjoyed all of that whole thing. Like just thinking back on it now, like so many moments that I loved, and it's like moments like that match kind of epitomizes like especially gimmick matches like that. Nobody bladed, nobody got busted open. It looked brutal as hell. That whole match, like they were just beating the shit out of each other the whole night. Headshots, face shots, punches, finishing moves, everything. We saw all of it. We got all the hits. Lifted the match. Roman tumbled out of the ring.
It was good. It was great.
And this is if I need to not to to put it in a package. This is the kind of match that AEW needs to look like. It'd be like, all right, look, we've caught like dudes blading on the last 4 shows. Every time for no good reason, really. Like a fist is a punch, and nobody bladed. And was any of that more impactful than what we just saw these two men do? Now, granted, they clearly brought in, a tractor, and they lifted the ring and probably broke it in the process. I can't imagine maybe they're gonna have to replace some wood, right? They're gonna have to
guaranteed.
There's some broken 2x4s.
But this is also the same company that destroyed a ring 9 months ago for a retribution angle that had no legs. So
that's a good point. Yeah. I mean, so clearly they've got ring pieces but I'm just saying, in the scheme of like what it was, a last man standing. If AEW did a last man standing match, everybody's forehead would be squirting blood, like goddamn Wheeler Yuta. Like, remember his head was squirting blood.
You just can't help yourself, can you?
I can't help myself, but like that would be what it is, and it wouldn't be half the match that this match was. It just wouldn't.
It was good, but I'm not saying it's all that. Like,
okay, you're right. Wheeler Yuta's face squirt gunning blood is going to be better than what I saw. I didn't say
that either. You're clearly putting words in my mouth.
Wheeler Yuta's squirt gun face blade should clearly sell out a football stadium. You're right. He should just cut himself. He should just cut himself in football stadiums. That's in fact we just sell tickets to that from now on. Wheeler Yuta's football stadium face cut show. It'll be great. It'll be great.
Just sit in the fucking center of the ring with a steel chair and just do it.
Yeah,
it's not like they're
hit himself in the head. Hit himself in the head and go, oh, look what this chair did to me. Not this razor blade. No. But yeah, no. Overall, I really enjoyed SummerSlam. It felt short, which I guess
I think it was right in the sweet spot. Except I did say in the group message, I feel a little unsatisfied.
Yeah, and I really think it was that Judgment Day match and the women's SmackDown title match that really were sort of the really low points of the show, but the low points of the show that really felt like they shouldn't have been there, and like they should have been something else almost, right? Like I feel like either of those matches could have been cut for like Johnny Gargano versus Seth Rollins.
I mean, we did get a Seth Rollins appearance. I
we did.
It.
He still came out and beat up Riddle, who was not cleared to compete. But it's I don't know, man. It's like I feel like there was. Yeah, I agree with you. I was not super satisfied. I feel like other SummerSlams have been more satisfying. I felt cheated without Seth Rollins, and I felt a little cheated. I kind of had hoped. I feel like they maybe should have had Charlotte Flair come out at the end of that match, and then maybe the next match between them is a triple threat.
We're gonna see Charlotte tonight, though.
Probably. What day is it? It's Sunday. So, with her dad.
Yeah.
Okay. So she was there. She was around.
Yeah, she's in Nashville.
Yeah, they should have had what they should have done with the
she's on vacation, pal.
I know.
Okay, the women's division doesn't revolve around Charlotte Flair as much as you want it to. It just
should revolve around me, though, a little bit. Anyway, I really feel like it would have been better if at the end of that Charlotte comes up. Look, and maybe that it'll end up building to that, and maybe it was just not for the pay-per-view. But I think that the next time that Liv, because obviously Ronda got screwed and Liv tapped and all that shit. I think the next time they have that match, because that's what builds to the next one. I think that Charlotte needs to get involved because they need to have somebody in the ring that
knows what the fuck is going on.
Knows what the fuck is going on. Like, and there's nobody better at that than it's like you either put Charlotte Flair or Bayley or Becky Lynch in there, and that's clearly Bayley and Becky are preoccupied. Just put Charlotte in there; it'll be a better match just because she's there. And everybody will literally all three. Everybody will look better because Charlotte's there. It'll be like, oh, we should have got like we'll talk about it, like the SummerSlam match should have been good like this. It'll be like, wow, how much better than the SummerSlam match was this match after this happens? That's what we're gonna say. And I mean, I don't know what the results will be. I don't know if Charlotte will win. It probably doesn't matter at this point, but that's my thought. If Charlotte was around, probably should have had Charlotte come out and point at them. All right. I'm done.
Okay, what was your overall grade on SummerSlam?
I'll give it a solid B. It was
really
B. There were two matches that I felt fell short, and I was disappointed that I didn't get Seth Rollins versus anybody. But I'll give it a B. I did still see Seth Rollins, and I thought that everything was good. I thought that it was the pace, the timing was good, the pacing was good. I wanted it to go longer. When it was over, I was like, I could have gone for another match. And it was already late.
Yeah. I could have won another 25, 35 minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that deserves a B.
That's what she said too, but
so I don't think it was the best SummerSlam in history, but it certainly wasn't bad. It was better than the Rumble. That's for goddamn sure. I think as Triple H gains more and more influence and writes more and more of the entirety of pay-per-views, I think it goes bigger and harder from there.
That's what she said.
Exactly. There we go.
But
what'd you think?
I honestly, I thought it was a really, really good SummerSlam. I really enjoyed SummerSlam this year. And like I kind of watched it a little bit differently, just because like it was the first like TV 14, first full show. Triple H was in charge of creative, and
TV is still TV 14. We didn't really get any blood, which was which I was because it flashed on the screen a few times, but I mean I didn't see any. There was no blood. There was no. I mean it was about as PG. I mean I guess the language maybe a little bit of language.
we'll see what happens moving forward. But I really enjoyed it. It was just nice to see them try things, some of which were a miss. Like obviously the confusion with the opening segment with the women's match, the random Drew McIntyre walkout promo. Just there were a couple of little pieces that were misses to me, but it's nice to see them try different things and not be afraid to try those different things in a primetime spot. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting moving forward. That's for certain.
With the Drew thing, I really think that they did it really for the live crowd. It wasn't for us particularly. It was weird to us, I'm sure, but for the live crowd to see him come up, because a lot of those people were literally could only see the jumbotron, and I think that's really the sort of like the downfall of going to a SummerSlam or one of these big stadium event shows, because it's not it's a football field is something where there's always going to be 20 some guys out on the field at all times, plus referees, plus we're running, we're sprinting, trying to push a ball one way or the other. So it's like there's a lot going on in a football arena, but like a WWE ring is a very small portion of a football stadium. So to have that, because I feel like the NHL runs into this with the Winter Classic too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it looks awesome on TV, but fucking you don't want to be at this thing. No. You don't want to go to that. It's the worst. It's the worst hockey show of the year to go to, unless you're a diehard fan. That's why they only do a few of them. And that I don't even think they sell out for Winter Classics, but still, like
yeah, they do.
But it's a spectacle. It's a spectacle kind of thing, and it's So I think they put Drew out, and they do the Seth Rollins segment and things like that. Those are as part of the spectacle. You want to see the stars. Drew doesn't have Drew. I mean, Drew competed the night before. That was the best match of SmackDown. It was really good. But that was all of SmackDown. Like that was it on SmackDown. It was like
SmackDown
you watched.
Was a train wreck.
Well, but you watched SmackDown for that Drew McIntyre and Sheamus match, and then the Pat McAfee and Baron Corbin stuff. But SmackDown's 2 hours long, and that encompassed about 30 minutes of the show.
Yes.
So
I don't know.
What I don't remember what I watched the other 90 minutes. It's not important.
So, truth be told, if you want to know what my match of the week is, you're gonna have to wait until tomorrow. Where Derek and I are gonna go live at 7:30 to discuss Ric Flair's final match, as well as let Derek talk about SummerSlam ever so slightly, if he even watched it, because we know how that goes. But Tom, what's your match of the week, bud?
I'm on the spot. So I think that really the main event really took it for me. As much as I enjoyed the tag team, and I thought it was the tag match, I thought it was perfect. For me, that's the part of SummerSlam that felt like SummerSlam was Brock versus Roman. It really felt like a big time pay-per-view match. And I loved it from start to finish. I thought it was great. Love seeing, like, in gimmick matches like that where it's like they didn't really like they used props, but it wasn't like, oh, we're pulling out barbed wire, pulling out this. It was like mostly like belts and the stairs, and Brock lifted the ring and stuff. Like it was so creative for a last man standing match, and it just showed how much that if you're actually really good at what you do, like you don't need to blade, you don't need to use chairs, you don't need to use barbed wire, you don't need to use, because like, I mean, I just bitched about that so much. You don't need any of that stuff to put on a really compelling, really good match where you just beat the hell out of each other. And you don't need to bleed, you don't need any of that, and you can do it, and it really is something that will fill a football stadium. It is something that'll, be one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, and you don't need to. You just need to be better at what you do. And I really feel like that encompasses everything that I've really been harping on for the last, God, however many years. Two things I will point out about SummerSlam, though, and I didn't get to them, but I will point out them now. One, Rhea did use the electric chair to smash Dominic's face off the side of the ring. The electric chair is still ridiculous nonsense. God, there was something else. There was something else that I didn't like. I can't remember what it was. There's something else that I complain about regularly, and I'm like, I'm going to complain about that, and now I forget. So if Derek points it out, he's right. I'm not being hypocritical because there was something else that I complained about that I didn't see and now I don't, that I saw and now I don't remember. But overall, great show. Really love the main event, and I think big win for WWE. Kind of did feel like a transitional sort of big show. Clearly, there were some things that were very Vince, but there were some things that were very Triple H. And the main event is my match of the week because I love from start to finish. Ended the show like this. Very excited, very happy. I got wings. Did you get wings? I had wings. Oh man, they were so good. I had wings last night. I don't get wings that often because it cost fucking a fortune. I paid like $30 for 24 wings. It was insane, which is actually a good price. But they were delivered, so. Huh?
It's soup.
All right, you're sick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, I promise you, once I get back from my vacation, and I will certainly buy some wings and maybe some pizza, and we can hang out and watch a show. Let's do it here.
Okay.
Let's do it here. Let's do it in my house. Because I have some guys who do some wings that are mwah. And yeah, it's good. So yeah, buddy, it's great to see you. I'm sorry you're not. Sure. I'm sorry you're not feeling great. I'm gonna miss you because I'm
great.
I'm gonna be away for a little bit, about 6 days, but I'll be back.
Fun! I'm happy for you.
Finally, right? Like I didn't get to go. We didn't get to go. We were gonna go in June, and we got COVID. All of us.
Yeah.
It was just like it ruined our whole month, really. Not just the vacation, the whole month. So the fact that we're still currently in immune status, all of us feel fantastic. We're leaving. We're going tomorrow.
Good.
And we're gonna give Mickey Mouse a big old hug, and I'm gonna cough in his fin. I'm not gonna cough on him.
Give him a fucking Stone Cold Stunner.
That's what I should do. I should give Mickey a stunner. I'll ask him. Can I give you a stunner and have my wife take a picture? Because I will fucking go all out on a Stone Cold Stunner to Mickey Mouse.
Hell yeah.
Oh god, that would be so amazing. That could be our new intro video.
Yeah, I'd be down. I'd be down.
Me giving Mickey Mouse a stunner.
I'd be down. Send it my way.
I'll see what I can do.
We'll work it in there. Hey, but listen, seriously though, Derek and I, if you're still here watching, we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button, helps us out a lot. Obviously, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff helps us out too. Appreciate it. Check us out. We'll be here tomorrow. Derek and I will be here tomorrow at 7:30 to discuss Ric Flair's final match. Woo! Which I'm gonna get out of here. So I'm already missed the first hour of the undercard. So I want to go and get involved in that. So I have things to talk about. But yeah. So catch us tomorrow. As always, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll get you next week or tomorrow, whatever.
Tomorrow, definitely tomorrow. Watch him tomorrow.
WrestleCast.